are you doing, folks? Welcome back to episode 42 of the V&M podcast. 42, imagine. We're still here.
We're not in jail.
Want to say a massive thank you to last week's guest, Shauna Scanlon. Brilliant episode last week. And Shauna has a new song out, Homebird, which is brilliant. She performed it last week live in the podcast for the first time, and it was actually very good. It's on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube. Go and have a listen, folks, if you can, and it's very good. And thanks again to Shauna. Want to say a massive welcome to this week's sponsor, Mr. Paddy Diver.
This week's sponsor?
Are you not sponsoring it, on?
Oh, that wasn't part of the deal.
Where he goes.
Revel and be the money there.
Welcome to Hot Seat, Paddy. What's the crack?
Not so bad. Hey, not so bad. I'm more used to be 30-second clips on the phone than standing here doing a broadcast. But
you're all right. Barry will clip it up now, so we'll look good on it, whatever and anything else.
There'll be 20 wee quick clips then. 20. What's happening, Paddy?
Oh, what's happening? What's not happening, boys? Where do you want to start on this? There's always something happens. Every day's a new fight.
Well, take us back, Paddy, because obviously me and Marty were trying to do a wee bit of research, you know, on the whole Mica crack and everything, but then we wanted to do a wee bit of research on yourself, obviously. But what we done was just write it down, like, if you just take us back to, I know we're going through your photos and scrapbook and stuff here, and it's sad, like, and we don't even know you, like, and we don't even, thank God above, we're not affected or anything, but the people isn't just going through that. We were saying, like, it fucking broke our hearts, like, and we haven't even spoke to you yet, like.
No, I know it is cat. Like,
but if you can take us back to the start of your journey, wherever you started to recognise problems or whatever, but at the very start.
Oh, well, I went over after Celtic Tiger whenever there was nothing here to no work here. I went over to England, Scotland, sent all the money back to build the house, no mortgage, so I wouldn't have to go over and back to England. And that was it. And that dream was more or less came through. Got the house finished, and that was happy days. Moved in the same year as we took our youngest daughter out of hospital, Savannah, and that she is the youngest of three. Reese is 15 and Mark is 25. So we were happy days. And the next one, I knew that there was a case going on, that there was a Mica campaign going on. I knew a wee bit about it, I heard about the town, but I didn't know too much about it. Around that time, my sister was sick of cancer, and within 4 years, all that just consumed me. I used to go out and get the turf and coal, but I was starting to see an odd bit of cracks, and I said I couldn't be me. But there's enough going on in my own private life that I was just consumed on that. That was just put it to the background, burying the head in the sand. It was all happening. I used to go out and get the coal, put the head down, walk straight on into the back door before it got, and then. Listen, I started to realise, I am one of them, but I hadn't time to deal with it because there's enough going on in my personal life. And then after my father passed away, then, listen, not to drag it back up again, but I could see, I went driving past town after his funeral, and I could see the new housing estate in Cairn had Cassie's blocks and Cassie's concrete in it, and I was thinking, I remember though the last housing estate was built in Cairn was 15 years previous, and it was built with Cassie's blocks and concrete. And that housing estate had to come down, had to crumble. So everybody in them houses, their plug sockets are not working, there's water leaking, they look pathetic, and the council's doing nothing about it. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I couldn't believe I was seeing it in this here house again. And then I started getting angry, like, this has to stop. When's this going to stop? How come nobody's stopping it? And I knew a heap of council workers that was affected by Mica, and I knew that they went to the council and they says, listen, you're degrading us, like you're making us use gaseous concrete whenever their products destroyed our family homes, and some families have been destroyed over this here. And they said, no, out of legal technicalities, they can't stop using the products. And we were thinking, right, how long a minute? What kind of planet is this to turn around and say, you're not going to stop using them, because they came out and they said that now their blocks is the best blocks. But it was only a rumour, because since that we've proved that it is only a rumour. There's been houses since 2018 that's been done. So my anger was at that time wasn't to do with the 100% redress. My anger was, first of all, it was, Cassidy's, I give you everything, you just give me shit. Like, and this is I worked all my life for this here. For the one thing I ever wanted to own was was a home. That's your castle. Every man's, no matter if it's a 2-bed and you own it or a 3-bed or what size it is, that's your castle. And the next minute, but what annoyed me then was I could see then that a homeowner would be using Cassidy's blocks, even though the house beside it was having defective blocks. Now it is class, but their house had Mica at the time. And the same happened, well, next door to me, they decided to get Cassidy's to concrete their street because they were cheaper, even though they knew it was affecting us. So mine was, where's the supporting your neighbours? Where's your morals? And not to be dragging them back up to them because I know they had enough time, and that was not put at them. But at the same time, listen, it's happened. We might as well just chat about it. Yeah. So when it happened outside my door, I could see my wife. Like, she was like, what the is anybody ever going to do anything and allow us here to go on? Like, and I just said, no, listen, not outside my doors. I just can't physically live with myself. Let them know that I've let them go up, drop off, drive down past my road, maybe meet them an hour later and pull on for them and let them go past. I said, no, that's it. Just going to stop it. If it means getting the guards, do so on. I stuck it up on Snapchat, more or less, done a while bit of cursing, which was embarrassing, but back in.
But Paddy, I say everything was coming out of you then. I'd say
probably
what was going on with the family, and then plus that everything was building up and angering you.
Aye, probably was, and it was probably, you know what? In a way, it consumed me. I didn't have time to grieve. I never as much as it was just. This was wrong. This the hatred and Cassidy's then kind of took over. Maybe it was my way of releasing frustration.
Yeah.
But then I went around the country and started videoing people that was getting them because I just thought this was wrong. And the simple fact was, if it's wrong, it's wrong.
It should be corrected.
Yeah. So I didn't want them still benefiting and lining their pockets whenever everybody else was suffering. So I just decided, right, I'm going to stop you. And they turned around and says, oh, listen, says to one of the workers I knew, don't worry about it. So it'll blow over. And next thing then we decided, well, sure, listen, it's not going to blow over. And we decided to do a protest up in Moncrana and march up till their quarry. And we decided, we went and got signs. I got signs made up. We went out to the public. We went to Cairn. Free signs, just throw it onto donation, and the donations came back. Oh, it's enough. Then you could get more signs, and the same went to Moncrana. The same thing happened then. They left money in the kitty. You could do more, and the next thing it just kind of took off. Then after it, like my son came in then, and he says like that was Moncrana done. Not to be bringing Mark up, but he came in and he says, right, that's Moncrana done now. Like it was on the papers, and he's kind of but maybe thinking, right, Jesus, you're on a bit of a rant here now, but that's enough. But I kind of knew that Moncrana wasn't going to be enough. Like it's going to have to be Dublin. So I says that night after Moncrana, which was a good success for us at the time. We're on a Saturday evening having a few drinks, and he says, right, that's it now. Is it like? And I says, no, I don't. It's not. It's not like we're going to have to go to Dublin. He was like, Dublin. You'll embarrass you. You're not going to Dublin. He get a slammed door. He had enough of it. Like, but I knew that had I going to go to Dublin, like. The sad reality is, the people in Dublin, like, they didn't listen, like, and the worst thing about it is, I'm probably jumping far too far forward, but they took us on. There was a working group set up. I got onto the working group. Fair play to Michael Doherty. He was a PRO of MAG. He let one of his out to let me in because I said to him, like, I don't want to be the boy sitting on the fence shouting, "Oh, sure, you are doing. You aren't doing enough. You aren't doing this. I'll take the blunt with you if you let me in there." But listen, whenever I went on, I realised, no, this is a working group. This is a farce. Like they are just trying to drag their heels down the road to a different level. So, but you see, when that thing was going on, you're getting the phone just never stopped. Like, and like fair play to the boys I was working with at the time, they were just unbelievable. They knew it was for the benefit of the community, so they let it go, and they were just brilliant. But then. It was wild emotional times too, like, you know, you're getting phone calls, like, and this was people's chance. Like, if I had to go on big plus out of it, I give people a voice. Before, you were embarrassed, you didn't want to tell people that you had Mica and Defective Blocks, like, you didn't want to admit you were one of them.
But see, actually, when all this was happening, and you said to me that Cassidy's were still doing this.
Yeah.
And you said, did you say there was a law on it that they were allowed to do it or something?
Well, it was, the fact was that when the Donegal County Council people who was working with them went to their top boys, like whatever, Joe Peoples and all was on there at the time, and went to them and says, listen, you're degrading us. You're still using these here, but sure, you've built tax offices that's damaged. You're using public money or taxpayers' money to build these things, but so they've damaged our houses, so how come we're still using them? And us continued. They more or less told them that they had no other way out. Had it been tendered, if they were the lowest tender, they got the price, which to me and you sounds absolutely pathetic. If it's the lowest price, they're lowest price for a reason. Maybe you want to check to see if they've done all this harm. So fair play to them. One morning, I think it's after the time I blocked, come back till that housing estate that I said was the next social housing. I decided, I went up to Buncrana, I was following lorries, and I went up, and next thing I hear that the Cassie lorry was heading for outside there, and it was me and the wife was up ready to video it, and I says, I don't know, shout out, put it onto Facebook and says, listen, no more keyboard warriors. Cassie's lorries is leaving Buncrana, it's heading for the new social housing in Cairn. Get off your ass and get down there and block us lorry and let's make a stand. And hey, it was nuts because there was about 400 people there and about 40 miles to an hour.
I remember the video.
Like it was mad, like. You know, it was mad, but it just showed the anger of the people that was out there to
it's your
do it. Like,
where you're going to make your memories and everything.
It's everybody, and the amount of people that, like, Jesus, the amount of people that if you go down to any show, if you don't have it, you know somebody that does have it.
Yeah,
that's just the bottom line.
It's worse
like.
down there, isn't it?
It's just
anywhere else.
It is. It is, and none of that. It's everybody's got their own story. Hey, like there's people got children's got there's needs, there's vulnerable people, there's pensioners, there's like this here has just destroyed communities. This has destroyed families. I went up to a place up near Rufo and your man gave me a row of houses, 10 houses down there, 6 of families split up. Like this is 6 families split up. This affects the children, affects them when they get a later on life, then they turn to drink, drugs, whatever, the whole shebang. There's a knock-on effect. And we have a government, and one of the most maddening things to me, we have a government in 2017, he has given all the paperwork to say, listen, there's a big problem with a quarry up here, there's houses with Mica at that time, defective blocks now, and Leo Varadkar was in power, had all the information and done nothing. Right? Now he's back in power in our government again, and he's still doing his best.
How the fuck? Like, how does that...
But you not only, it just defies belief, but not only me saying it does nothing, somebody says, oh, he's done nothing. He continued to build. There's tax offices built, leisure centres built, Garda stations built. They were still building out of the same quarry that he had as drawer full of emails of problems. We had a TD up here in Letterkenny, Joe McHugh was steady telling them. They made an old scheme and still didn't close this quarry. Like, the Donegal County Council give that quarry planning mission, 25-year planning mission, and they give it to them in 7 weeks. They never even checked to see that any of their enforcements that was supposed to be enforced before, did they do them? Which they didn't. Now they're all up in court, all because of the people and the thing. Now they're all up in court. But I'll have no qualm saying it on this broadcast. There was somebody in that Donegal County Council was a very stupid, or now they're very rich, because the backhander. I got a letter sent to me, probably didn't bring it, I'll show it to you. I got a letter sent to me from a man that works in the quarry, and it's been proven that he worked in the quarry. And he told me that the brown envelopes that was handed out was scandalous. And like, that's the only explanation.
What do you mean, isn't to councillors?
Aye, tell councillors.
We're getting backhanders for using this.
Aye, yeah. I'm not saying that the new ones on the ground now are. Listen, there's some fine councillors out there. I'm not going to go against all the councillors. There's a Mark McDermott fellow there. He's a councillor down local to us, and he's a grafter. You know what I mean? There's other councillors. Mention no names, but I'm sure you know who I'm on about. That I have absolutely no time for. They're only mouthpieces. And then there's other ones that just don't do their job, and there's other ones will take the backhanders. Listen, there's all different types of them, but there was somebody. Donegal County Council is there to oversee the things for the people. Yeah. There is much to blame for this here than anybody else. This was a big long thing. They never closed that quarry, boys. That quarry's still not closed today.
Aye, that's fucking mind-boggling.
No, it's still not closed today. They haven't got them closed. The only reason that they're closed is because the public has more or less forced them to close the doors. But if they wanted to, they could sell concrete and blocks. Nobody's actually stopped them yet.
Jesus, man, I didn't know that. I thought they were all.
And how long, like from, how long is it going on, Paddy? Because people don't understand how long this is actually going on.
But well, like if we just stick the cases, it's going on for. There was times they went to funerals, and the arguments got up that the blocks was outside. They were hatted corpouses sometimes like us here. This has all started in the last 10 years, but because nearly all the houses in Donegal were all built with pebble dashed, it didn't
show up.
It didn't. Pebble dash white now is like a render now. The water just runs off it. But when you started going to the fancier house, then you want a wee bit rubbed up. She would soak on a bit more, and she would kind of stay in the blocks longer. So she just over time she'd have more damage. So you're asking the question, how long is it going? It was most of the harm's done since probably around the Celtic Tiger, but take another 10 years before that as well. Was still the harm. There's plenty of rumours going on there. Turned down the salt and peppers like a smell, boys. It was a massive, massive issue. One of the things that could be said was Mica, at that time, through no fault of no group, the name Mica was formed because that's what they thought it was. They thought it was free saw Mica, and that's why it's called Mica. But now Mica's causing a bit of a problem because if you 5 or 7% Mica, there's no real wild issue. If you've enough cement, your cement strength strong enough, your house is dead on. Now there are houses that people will not buy a house if they hear Mica at all.
Yeah.
This is a sad thing. Listen, nobody can be blamed for that. Way back when this campaign was started, there was a name put on it for the benefit of getting the campaign going out there. But now it's probably defective blocks.
The same as COVID, more or less.
Aye, that's it. People want the name changed now from Mica, but it's like Mica's a brand name now.
What is it, Paddy?
Oh,
is it lack of cement then?
Lack of cement massively. Then there's other deleterious materials. I'll put it this way: there's a boy called Paul Dunlop. Instead of him going, like, social media can be toxic, can be brutal toxic. I know all about it at times, but when Paul Dunlop was on it, he decided, you know what? I'm going to find out what's this difference in the Mica. All the people saying there's defective blocks, there's iron sulfides, etc. So he decided he'd go and go. He was just like the dad of them. Instead of doing nothing, he's a professor, and he decided to do something. So he got in touch with this boy that's anti-blocks and concrete and stuff like this. And Andros Lehman, you call him. And he sent him over 4 samples. So when the man got the 4 samples in, he noticed then that there's pyrite and pyrite. And listen, this was no new thing to Ireland. Yeah. We've already had Leinster and Dublin get 2 pyrite schemes fixed end to end. Theirs was on the stone, and it combusted, runs the floors, busted the tiles, all the rest, water pipes. So, rightly so, there was no fault of the homeowners, the same as Mica and Defective Blocks, no fault of the homeowners up here. Down in Dublin, they got everything fixed. I talked to a couple of them. They got, right, we'll take you out of your house now on the 1st of September, and you'll be back in the 1st of September, and fixed their house and left it immaculate.
Like for like, just?
Like for like. Up
100%.
here, just 100%. Rightly so. So I think they closed one quarry over pyrite. So it's not as if this is a new thing. Tell them. As soon as Leo Verker here tell of a quarry causing problems to homes, bang, alarm bells should have went. This has cost the taxpayers a lot of money, and close that quarry until we get samples taken out of it. Like, I was working down in Dublin. I know you cannot put stone onto a subfloor of a house unless it's SR21 approved. Up here in Donegal, there's no regulations in quarries. So, like, that's not fair. Me or you or anybody buys a house, there's nobody to go back to. Like, there's no regulations. It has to be outside rural Ireland. Dublin just don't care. That's the sad reality.
See the Michael Homer people here, we Mica, for them to see the people in Dublin getting their like for like, or their 100%. So that's a fucking kicking the stones alone. Like,
it is like, listen, one thing's for sure, they don't begrudge them. Or I don't begrudge them, and they deserve to get their house fixed.
No, that's what I mean. But you know what?
Well,
like,
they've done nothing wrong. But it is a kick in the teeth,
right.
Especially as we have a minister up here, Charlie McConlogue, boys. You have a minister up here, and what, Fianna Fáil, and you think, right, we've got somebody that'll listen to us. Well, I can no bother say unless here broadcast. That man has completely turned the back on the people, completely just went to the party. He could have done a bit of both and done a wee bit of fighting or a bit of arguing. No, nothing. Whatever that party told him, that was it. He just went.
Why though?
Listen, he lives next door to me. We went into the shop and were waiting for years. My mother be close to the family, and the way I don't think he actually cares about the ordinary civilians on the ground. That's my honest opinion. It's just the pension, the bigger picture, and up with the bigwigs, and see what happens. I would bet now in this broadcast here now. I'd love if anybody would take a bet off me to say that he'll run again. He says in Highland Radio that he'll run again. Not a chance will he run again. He'll be embarrassed unless it'll not be his votes. It'll be knock-on votes. I don't think he'll ever get back in. He'll get a seat. He'll get a senator seat, or he'll get on in Europe. Or if you're under the party and you just toe the party line at every opportunity, he'll get on. Like one of the most atrocious things I've ever seen in my life was whenever the scheme was done up, the government, they wasted a full year on the sliding scale. Then they went and they said, oh no, we need to urgently get this scheme out now. We're taking away this sliding scale. We'll urgently get this scheme out. Michael Doherty, myself and everyone said, whoa. There are a lot of people working on it. Mayo was on it and everything. Debbie McCoy was helping us. We'll get to her later. She's been a brilliant help to the people of Ireland. I hope I'll just bring her up later because I don't want to forget about her. And like a lot of other people. But second to that, the amendments. The amendments were done. There's 80 problems. Like 80 problems. The government wouldn't listen to one of them. Not one of them. They just went on and they just voted. They had a vote. They just dismissed every single problem to 80 of them and said, no, there's a scheme. Now we're back at a stage at the present moment, and it's just a shit show. We've got people that you imagine you're told one day you're getting demolition from your engineers, an expert engineer, and then the engineers Ireland, then they're coming in and they're turning around saying, nah, you know what? The visual inspection might look at a wee bit of look at the report and then say, no, you're only getting out of leaf now. And that just puts you back into the washing machine. Your whole life just goes spin dry, or you run around with it and you can't get off. And all anybody wants is just get the house fixed and get out of this nightmare and get on with the life. Just get on with the life. Life's hard enough, stressful enough, the way things are going.
It's fucking redress.
Without all this hanging over you constantly, every day, and even this scheme, every day is a fight. Everything's a fight. We more or less give them everything. We're morning, noon and night trying to fight the righteous way. We give them everything. They come up with nothing. They don't come up with anything.
Where is the scheme at now, Paddy, though? What is
the scheme there now? If I had to tell you the scheme there now, the government there come up on the headlines. I just detest headlines because it's like Dara Breen comes up. Yes, the government's in talks with the banks. The government's never in talks with the banks. You get another headline that listen, everybody they're getting 420,000. A very small minority of people is hitting the 420,000, and then you take professional fees after that. And then the thing about the scheme is, if you are knowledgeable in construction and you can handle the mental health of tossing down your own house, bringing up the subfloor and organising your plasters, your plumbers and your roofers, etc. You can possibly make it work not far away from it. But see, like an old age pensioner or a vulnerable person, do you think can they project manage a scheme? They just can't. They just can't. Not only the figures, can they make the figures? Some people think they can make the figures, and then other people then might only be 500 square foot out in their house, and they can't. You go to a contractor, because the way the scheme's going, and I'm not going against all the contractors, but they're feared of those 10% at the end, could be 40,000. There's a chance that they don't get it. So they add that onto the price to make sure they get it before they have to get it at the end, which is kind of not standard. Listen, if it was just done, if there was a care, it'd be done the end to end the same way it is. Like, you get a big building contractor, comes up, everybody's still going to get a piece of the pie.
Exactly.
You're going to tender it out that a brickie gets us whatever it is a block, even if it gets well paid at a block, at 170, maybe 180. But boys, don't be going over the €2 block. No, I don't agree with it. But that's not just sticking to the blocks. Listen, it's the plasters, whatever square foot's on the wall. There's a price in a tender, and anybody can get it. Not just us oh, listen, right, I've 2 houses done now, and the 3rd house in, you just throw a big figure on it. Some of the contractors' prices are coming back, are colossal. And that means that a Mary Regan, a Kathleen Brent, a Kenny Rogers, this is elderly, will never get their houses fixed in their lifetime. And the sad reality of them people is, one of them in particular, her garden would have been something that you would just see on TV. Flowers, not a weed kind, just immaculate. Now, the gardens, you'd think it was a derelict house, just lost the will to live. And the government thinks that this is what people vote them in to look after them. They're voted in to look after the people. And it's known, this is no fault of the homeowners. This is no fault of homeowners. This is taxpayers, people who bought and paid for their house. It defies belief times, like, just definitely does.
Do you know what? See if you built your house and you thought, fuck, I'm going to build it here now for this money, you know, I'll do it in the cheap, I'll do it in the sly, and then come this time with your house falling down, your own fault and it was your own doing. That's the way you're getting treated.
Listen,
do you know what I mean?
I'll just be honest with you, that there even maddens me there, because see the way you turn around. See as your scrapbook here, the way you says that if you kind of cheapen your house and just get it up. I went on to my house and we had a listen to. We hoped our TDs would stand up for us, because that was our voice in the doll, was TDs.
Yeah.
Then we had Niall Blaney going against us. This here's a scrapbook I done for my house, and I put my heart and soul into it. From day dot, went over to England and Scotland to done it to do it. And there's photos on there that you can see later. Everything's there. It was Kingspan to the last. It was steel where steel was supposed to be. There was no corners cut. And I had to listen to Niall Blaney turn around saying, "Oh, that's so homeowners' own fault."
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Absolutely.
Like we Paddy showed us this book when I came in, and like we were chatting him for about 5 minutes before it, and we were going through some of the photos, and it broke our hearts looking at it. Like, but even just to say that, where he come around saying it's your own fault, that would it's just.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's fucking disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Paddy's going over to Scotland, over in England, away from his family for weeks on end, probably sometimes. To get the money and build this house, and then to your house to be falling around you is a fucking ridiculous.
But people like that to be turning their backs on you, basically.
And that's your own people.
That's your own people.
That's your own TDs. You know counties. They just pick their party over people, and we've seen too much of it. That's why at the minute now, on the 4th of March, we've decided that we're going with that. We've completely given up on Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And I don't see how anybody could think any different, because we've given them 2 stabs as a scheme now. And twice they've come up short. Way, way, way short. Listen, Thomas Pringle's been brilliant for us as independent. The same as Sinn Féin. They've called out all the right things in the Dáil. But it's a quote from Michael Doherty. It's all well and good shout and shout from the sidelines. But whenever you're getting togged out and you're getting closer to the pitch, are you fit to fulfill it? So what we're trying to do now is, and this came from Michael Doherty, it was a great idea, and he brought it to us, and he says, what about the groups unite, and we get a definition of 100% redress. So instead of people being, because Charlie McConaughey saying they've got 100% redress. Even now, he says it, along with Michael Martin. And so we want to hold Sinn Féin's feet to the fire and turn around, and we want to ask the public to turn up on the 4th of March. And on the 4th of March, then, they've an input onto this people's document. And that is the definition of 100% redress. And this is not going to go all, like I did hear one person what it's on added onto it, that he had to move his house 5 miles. He wants travel expenses for the next 20 years. Listen, that kind of carry on is not going to go on. But at the same time, common sense is going to come into it. And when we get it, then this is it. I can't turn around and promise that Sinn Féin's going to give us all the bells and whistles or fulfil their promises. But one thing's for sure is, we're holding our feet to the fire that on the 24th of March then, they're going to have to go to the Green. And any political party that goes to the Green, they're going to have to publicly declare that, yes, that's what they back. And if they don't, well, that just shows that there's nobody there to back. And if they do, as I've said to them, like Paddy McLaughlin, he's in no illusion that he'd be in serious bother if Sinn Féin don't fulfil 100% redress. It's a TD here. They've promised a lot. And whatever about Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, we've given up on them with Sinn Féin because they've said it. Pierce, he's a minister. possible future Minister of Finance, Owen Brun. He's written two books on. He's written two books on. He's written two books on, what did you call it? It's gone. It's left my head there now.
We'll come back to it.
Aye, well, Owen O'Brien, he's written two books on regulations. The government should be regulating. So, really and truly, I said to them, like, you could be heroes. Everybody in every house, their children, no matter what age, mine to 25, if they come and get these homes fixed, rightly so, get a team up end to end, what shouldn't be, they'll be heroes. They'll have votes for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
And they should do it. Because if they can't do it, if they haven't got the money to do it, they should be going to Europe for humanitarian crisis aid. Like, everybody's looking at them at the minute. Everybody's looking at the governments, and which we can't get you. Or some of the stuff makes you so mad. I know for a fact that after the pre-legislating scrutiny, that Darragh O'Brien was fit to tell the newspapers, if any use print this here, you should get no headlines from the government again. We're telling you nothing. They more or less, they have got. And I was told it from a Donegal affected homeowner that's in the journalism industry that they were warned: do not bring up do not print anything from Paddy Diver or any of them air people through the pre-legislating scrutiny.
They'll not
or
get
else
in for big boss putting up headlines. Fucking hell,
shocking,
isn't it? It's
So
like a mafia.
It's fucking, it angers you.
But it
so
angers
much.
you, see it going on, and you're just like, what the fuck? Could nobody fucking just help us? Like?
Blow your mind. Hey, the only way we can get truth out is through TikTok and Twitter. Like, can you, RT, don't even, we small snippets, you make it 5 seconds on one of the biggest protests in the midweek down in Dublin, and I just got the tail end of it. You know,
RT's the biggest fucking mafia country.
It's pathetic. It's costing the state over 2.7 billion, and it doesn't deserve to get an RT. Nah.
No, that's fucking mad. As you says about the old people, like that old person probably down with you, they spent all their life to that house, probably leave it to the children. Like most people did when I was growing up, it was to be left to your children. How is the house going to be left to anybody now?
No,
you know what I mean?
It makes them so sad. Hey, it just makes them age so much because every day is a worry. And I'm not telling you a word of lie, boys. See for Darragh O'Brien or somebody, with a man that has never come to Donegal and visited a Mica or Defective Block homeowner, to put him on there in one of them storms would be charity on him, because I've lived in one of them storms. My son's 25. He's a big, strong young fella. He came back from England there, and he was down there staying in the room over Christmas, one of the storms. He never slept all night. Him and his wee girl, him and his woman, they couldn't believe it. They're not safe. It's only a matter of time before there's a tragedy.
Right.
Like, I pushed down a chimney. Me and my son pushed down a chimney with our feet there one day. Put it up on Twitter just to let people know. One of them chimneys could come down in a car with wains, just taking the shopping out of the car and onto the house. A bad storm. The chimneys aren't safe. We've no maintenance team going around checking things to fix things. There's just too much things. It's just wrong.
Something will happen.
Just when you said that, actually, I deliver for DPD, and I do see a lot of affected homes. But one stood out to me one time. Hey, where wasn't that long ago actually, where I was living in a parcel of this house, and I drove up, big beautiful 2-story house, big lovely house, like, and obviously delivers regular to this woman or whatever. And up one day, and I noticed that a big garden too in the house. But I noticed everything was cleared around, everything was up against the fence out around the house. And I was like, what the fuck? And I just handled things. She goes, I was like, what's going on or whatever? She goes, I can't, the Waynes can't play around the house anymore. She says, what? She goes, look. And I mean, if you had up and kicked the chimney like that, it would have just fell down happy. And I don't know the woman. Never, don't know her. I don't know her name. I don't know her anything. But I'm telling you, sure, from somebody that's not affected, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it broke my heart, sir. I took a step back and I was like, the Waynes can't play around their house?
Nah, it's affecting them too, like.
Like, what? Like, and then you said then your man Darragh O'Brien's never been in Donegal, never spoke to a homeowner.
No, it's just
fuck
wrong. Like, I have a wee girl that we had to move out of her room and move onto our room, and she's still in her room. And for the reason being, and she was chatting under one of the times that RT was there, a broadcast, and she says that's because the reasons it's the only way she feels safe. Some of the children, and a storm comes, some of the families that take their children out of the faraway rooms and put them on to the house, the size of the house that doesn't get the weather. Like, what kind of planet are we on? Then we've a council and a government that won't do emergency accommodation for people that is There's a housing crisis up here anyways. I could show you a spot in Cairn. Nice, lovely big spot. You could fit 10 timber frame modular homes, emergency homes, whatever way you want to call them. Something that they can just use as a conveyor belt when their house is finished. Another family can go onto it. But a common sense.
Yeah.
That's right beside two of their old estates, so they've got their water, the electric, the sewers, everything's there. But no, there's no will to give from us government at all. Like everything's been a fight. Like
what was the country there that had the fucking wild earthquakes now? Turkey.
Aye.
I was thinking, or actually, I actually heard a girl. She was on actually one of the radio stations, and she might have been in them.
All them people in Turkey, their contractors, they're all been prosecuted. That's part of the whenever they built them apartments, they have to build them to a standard that they're allowed for an earthquake of 0. Such and such, whatever it is. They can be prosecuted. We get a government out there, Dara Breen and rest, they come around and says yes, the people responsible will be prosecuted. Only for Aidan Sheeran and Sean Houghton, which could be one of the biggest legal things to hit the history of this here state. It could be, it's like an Aaron Brockovich film all over again. These two boys are taking up the state. And there was a long time there, you had some people out there turning around and saying that, it'll never work. Don't be going into the Coleman legal case because it's not going to work. And they put that doubt on people's heads. And there's thousands of people that didn't go onto it. And now they have to pay to get onto it. So that particular person should be sitting watching us here broadcast ashamed of himself, because they proved that the third party funding was done legitimately. They passed that milestone in court now. So that's out of the road. There's no issue there. The next thing now is justice. And they're heading in that right direction. And if these boys pull us off, boys, I'm telling you, this is who you should be sitting in the broadcast too, is these two boys, because if I had to start talking to them about them, I couldn't praise them high enough. Like they're unbelievable. What they're doing for the people of Donegal is off the charts.
What do you call these boys?
Sean Haggerty and Aidan Sheeran.
Big shout out to Sean Haggerty and Aidan Sheeran.
I was just saying there. I actually heard one of the people in the Mica Action group on the radio chatting about it or whatever. But I went into a shop and I seen when the earthquakes in Turkey are happening now, and everyone obviously whoever helped out, fucking fair play them and all that crack. But I seen a box, a donation box in a local shop here for a turkey fund for whatever. Like, if an earthquake hit Ireland tomorrow, there'd be people flying in from every corner of the world to help you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
What the fuck? What's the difference in this?
I don't understand it. I do think if there was a GoFundMe page set up tomorrow, it would blow through the roof. I would never have anything to do with a GoFundMe page. You know yourself, it's just...
Yeah,
no,
but...
You're not on that.
No, I'm not on that. Listen, the right people, the right group could do so much.
Yeah.
But no, me and the wife always says, you're not getting on that. Before you know it, you change the car. You know what talks, social media can be like...
And they'll blame you then, he's using this money.
Aye, exactly.
Then your headlines.
Yeah, so no, you'd never... But at the same time, definitely, there's millionaires all over Donegal. You just wonder, what can they do? Maybe they're probably dying to do something, but nobody's ever asked for it, so they haven't had to give.
That's what I mean now, when people...
But I'm saying that now, one thing's for sure, see whenever we were going to do the protests in Dublin, now boys, they'd left the phone, and there was two girls would help us, and it was massive. Like, take some of my sister Caroline would have helped me through tight on us here. My brother Cahill, he was tight on along it whenever we were against the Cassies before he had to go to Cork. Then we met Denise and Ashton Smith. They started taking, if somebody wanted, they were like, where can we donate? If we go to Dublin for buses, how would we pay for bus? They were saying, yeah, well, McGonagall's buses there is not paid. If you want to phone them and transfer it to them, bang, another bus. Like, through donations from America and Australia and stuff like this, there was 40 buses paid for. Like, that's nearly...
The support then...
It was meant like 40 buses. It's nearly £700 a bus or £800 a bus. So it's nearly 30 grand. You know. And folks, if we're into the thanking people, one person could never be left behind. As Charlie Gibbons and Don down in Clonaf. Because to organise nearly 40 buses to go to Dublin and get a spreadsheet and lift them all at different places all over Donegal is phenomenal. And not once, but twice. So it's a massive thank you to Charlie and Don. Off the charts. Oh, the support's there whenever it was needed. When we says we're going to Dublin, but no, the community has been unreal. This is coming from Australia and America and everywhere. People were mad to help.
Oh, that's good. We're just going to pull stop it there for just get a wee cup of tea. We halfway. What time's that, P? 40 time we stop at 20. But we just want to say a massive thank you, folks, to this week's sponsor, Bally, who sponsored me. Where they close?
Bally clothing.
Thanks again to folks for jumping on. Episode 41. We're going to be cup of tea and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
42, funny.
That's what I said.
41, you said.
Did I? 42, man.
Get Paddy a cup of tea then.
How you doing, folks? We just want to say a massive thank you to this week's episode sponsor, Bally. The guys down there have given me and Marty some merch, which is nice, good quality, lots of colours, and very, very cosy.
So get over to ballyclothing.ie and get your stuff now. Shop local. Welcome back to episode 42 of the V&M podcast. We're just sitting here with Paddy Diver here, chatting about Mica and how it's affected people. Paddy, see the mental health side of it. It must have been atrocious for people too, and still to today, like.
That's one of the worst aspects of it. Hey, being honest, there's so many people at different stories. There's no point dressing it up. Families don't want to come out and say it. Some of them don't. There's been suicides already. Listen, and if the government keep going the way they're going, there's going to be loads more. There's people's like we took down children. Barry Kearney helped take down a bus of children affected by Mica, and it was done through the schools and the teachers and mothers and fathers. They were happy to let them go. They got to write their own story. We weren't allowed to see them at all because it was from their hearts, and we got them down. Niall Blaney, he came out and he sniggered at them because they were at the wrong gate. Instead of that's our senator in Donegal. Instead of him coming around and turning around and saying, "Listen, kids, come on, I'll show you the way. It's around here. I'm Senator Blaney. It's around here we're supposed to go." No, he sniggered at them instead. I was down at the same time, and these children, I think the Minister of Education was Norma Foley. I think I'm right. She came out anyways. Boys, she came out and she just took them off him. She got halfway through. This was them emptying their souls, telling what this was doing to their mothers and their fathers, and them getting to sleep, hearing arguments, and maybe their father starting to drink, or maybe their mother drinking wine. Because I know there's many people that's turned it just to kind of for I don't know break it,
to take away from it.
Yeah, and totally dismissed. Took half the letters, never responded, never got onto the schools. They've never nothing set up. We've a Russian Galaris looking for a hub, a mental health support unit, which is massively needed, and nothing on the horizon that's going to help. And that's on the mental health side of stuff. And that's here, I could just go on and on about the pensioners, vulnerable people, wee children, and families splitting up, suicides. It's every day. Every day it's on your head. I was out and out in the gym there. I don't go to it too often, but I was talking.
Does Marty actually.
But I was talking to a boy out there, like, and he goes to that's why he goes to clear his head because he says he's affected, and he says that anybody that's got a Mica defective home is affected. It's on their head. The gyms has way breaking up. Other people has different ways. You could drink, you drugs, you like none of them is right. But this is not right. That's like nobody's used to this here, and there's no help. There's nothing. We've asked for help more times than enough. We've asked for hubs. We've asked for financing. Sure, it wasn't only the other day that your man, they took a funding away from the counselling service, and the amount of Mica and Defective homes that was serving. No, this government actually just makes me sick, It really does.
It's suicide, Joe. It doesn't really get any fucking worse.
No, it doesn't get any worse, but there's no point me turning around. There's no point me trying to deny it. Like, there's people that have really open conversations with me, and they have really, really deeply thought about it. Like,
it's fucking disgusting.
And the worst thing about it is everybody thinks that the men's the strongest in the house. Boys, the women's the strongest in the house.
Yeah.
Like
listen,
my wife, I wouldn't, like, for me doing this here podcast here now, even for me doing this campaign, Not in a million years would I have lasted this long without my wife.
Without the sport.
Not a chance.
And your family, obviously.
Aye,
Yeah.
with the wife especially, like, and then especially the family. But no, every house could tell you a different story. Hey, and there's none of them good because there's not one of them that can't tell you a story about their mental health and did they have suicide thoughts or did they turn to drink or did they, or how they sleep at night or do they not sleep at night? Like I know, there's people who went on to YouTube. They would, listen, I'm not going to mention their names, but one boy, he says yes, he's had a full-blown mental breakdown. This is a father with a wife and 3 children, like having a full-blown mental breakdown over this here, like you know,
it's affecting. See, if you're lying in your bed, you're thinking, I've no home for my family. I've worked hard all my life. All that's going to trigger. You're going to drink, drugs, suicide, everything. That's going to trigger
everything.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be, no. And men's not good with emotions and saying things and all the rest. A lot of them think the woman's looking at the man and she's thinking, "You're in construction. How did you not know? How did you not know?" And he's thinking, like, "Oh man, he feels the blame." And then the Waynes then they're going out from outside and they're coming in and in the middle of the argument just stops and then there's just a silence in the house. You could cut the tension with a knife. You just know the Wayne just knows, oh, I'm getting out of this room.
Yeah.
Or the Wayne's coming down the stairs and she's turning around and saying, "I don't want to hear anything to do with Mica." Like the whole house, the whole years and years and years is just consumed of Mica. When are we going to get a house fixed? Are we going to have enough to fix it fixed? Where are we going to go to school? Where are we going to live? There's somehow people can't get a house to rent, so they might have to go to Buncrana. You're going to take a child that has gone through enough over Mica and Defective Blocks, tell them right now, in the middle of your exams, I have to take you to Buncrana, you have to go to a new school. The whole knock-on effect is just pathetic. There's no plan in this government at all.
But this is on top of your own fucking problems as well.
Life's problems.
Exactly. On top of life's problems.
Life problems as well.
Exactly.
Like if they're not hard enough.
No, I know. No, it's just wrong. Hey, there's so much wrong about it. It's just makes you so angry. Hey,
but do you know what? I just don't know how anybody could turn their back on anything like that. Especially when you said that these things have been on desks, the information, the letters, the emails from every,
so true. Like
people know what's happening out there, but yet
they never try to stop it and they don't try to ratify it. And everything's been a fight. Like this is, and I just tell you this completely and utterly through. I had nothing to do, didn't care nothing to do with politics. Maybe last year I voted Sinn Féin because I knew that the country was going and needed change because I'd seen things going. But before that, I don't even think I voted.
No, you couldn't have been arsed.
No, couldn't have been arsed. That's been honest, probably wrong. But at the same time, since I've got into this here, and I've seen what this Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael's like, and I've seen of the people that were supporting the Donegals like, and I'm hearing what Sinn Féin's promising and giving, I do believe it's time for change and it's time to give them a chance. People could turn around and say, "Oh, it's going to be no different." Which we don't know.
Why not?
They have to chance it, don't they?
Why not though?
Have to chance it. Listen, like I've met Michael Martin. I told him, listen, with great power comes great responsibility. And he just looked at me and stared straight through me. And he knew all about the defective blocks, but he wouldn't talk to me. Leo Verka had everything on his desk. But to be honest, Mary Lou, she was up my house, like, and I took her around and showed her chimneys, like, and you know when you judge a character, you just think the party is more for the middle class. They're more caring. They can't keep coming up, unless I'm wrong, but they can't keep coming up with these promises and not fulfill them. I can't see them not fixing the houses. And if they send a team up to fix the houses end to end, that's all we want is our houses fixed. 100%. Nobody, like, the people don't even want compensation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
just fix your houses.
Like for like, just the way you were.
Simple as that.
It's just, I just can't get over it. But you just said there in the first part of, it just feels like it's your fault. But the way you're getting treated, it feels like it's your fault.
No. Oh, I cannot. Every day has a fight, and I mean, you get false promises, and you there was times when we were through that campaign, one of the government's officials was a liaison between the government and the people, and he promised that, yeah, it's looking like you're going to get this. Yeah, you're looking like you're going to get this. And it was like, yes, we're going to get it. We're going to get it 100%. Fuck, people's going to get the houses fixed. And it was like a marathon, but every time you got near the finish line, they took a line and moved their way on up another 5 miles, and it was so draining, and that's what they try to do. They try to wear you down, so you just think, you know what, I'm not bothered campaigning.
False hope, just
That's just false hope. And like, see, anybody out there is campaigning, they deserve all the credit they can get, no matter and of any other kind of groups or anything, because anybody that ever hears anything to do with a working group in a government, I fear for them. But that's the government just try and wear you down. They don't want you to kind of keep going, and then they will try and put on divide the people. Like when they've given up now this year, this amount of money, with if you project manage it yourself, well, they kind of divided the people there now again. So someone's getting the houses fixed, another one's not left behind, and they know rightly. So that big campaign will never be got there again because
some of them got
it.
Yes.
Like they're out for.
Will these people be at our doors looking for votes?
They will be, aye, but I tell you, they'll have some necking them.
You know,
you're
how,
right.
like,
So
I don't know how.
My 3 children went a community crash over there. One of them's sitting out there, and it's covered in mica. And even in a storm, you get a message to say that the children mightn't be in because it's riddled with mica, and they're still not moved.
Oh, so the children mightn't be in?
They mightn't be in, and then that's knocking on. Not that we will have to get something else and work. You know what I mean?
Aye, but there's no cop on. There's no cop on. There's a state in Buncrana that 3 years ago they put everybody out of them. I think it was 30 houses. They put everybody out of the houses and rehomed them. The 30 houses are still sitting there. Like you're either going to fix them, you're either going to toss them, rebuild them, or you're going to do something with them. Cairndonna's the same. There's a house down in Cairndonna, 7 years. Your one's out of the house because Mica and Defective Blocks, and it's still there. And they're like, are you going to fix them or are you not going to fix them?
It's madness.
That's just fucking ridiculous. It's
No,
absolutely
it's mind-boggling.
That's mind-boggling, surely. But we have had some serious help from a lot of campaigners. There's one over in America, Debbie McCoy, you call her. She landed over here last year, and it was brilliant this year. And the woman wasn't like her mother and father were from Ireland, but they emigrated over there, and she'd never set foot in Irish soil. But because over in Connecticut, they had a defective block scandal as well. It was called pyrite over there. So she wanted to help the Irish people. And boys, she has written a timeline. That woman would be fit to tell you anything that Engineers Ireland said 2 years ago in a meeting in their Oireachtas. She's a photographic memory, like. And she's written there now. Lisa Doherty is getting a book done out for her. Like Lisa's the one that does the 100% redress page. The woman is just colossal. Like there's nobody could run that page the way she runs it. Morning, noon, and night. And the credit she deserves for doing it is just through the roof. And so Debbie done a timeline of where the problems came from. So you imagine if you were watching like CSA Miami, and they go and they put the main persons at the top, and they start filtering off it, the problems. Well, Debbie's done this timeline. There's a boy in there, Seamus Nally. He was a massive problem in it. If you get Debbie's book sometimes. My memory is nothing like Debbie's. And then he goes in and gets a cushy government job. So the way she's done it is she shows in the Spider's Web and the timeline with Donegal of all the people that were in there blaming freeze saw and blaming stupid stuff, and then they get cushy jobs, and then somebody else was doing good, and then they get pushed away, and it'd blow your mind. But and her father's just passed as well, so just let her know that we're thinking about her.
Send her thoughts there.
Right. And is there anybody else, Paddy, you want to give a shout out that helped you with the 100% redress?
The Mica Action Group, Paddy, what's the work I do is colossal.
It's unreal too, colossal. Like I came across Michael Doherty whenever he's a PRO on it, and man, I'm surprised he hasn't went for an independent TD or something like that, because he has got his heart in the right place, and he says all the right things, and does all the hard work, and he's been let down so much, it's unreal. Like, whenever he went down to them amendments, that's one reason he kind of walked away. But he never went away. He's always in the background helping any time he's wanted. But any of them campaigners, listen, you could go on and go on. Who to thank? My mother-in-law, she used to be taking sleeping tablets because she said, "Oh, Jesus, here it comes again. What's going to be on Facebook now?" So,
but hey, you need to do it. Like that's the only way to do it.
Aye.
because it's just funny. It brings me back here. I done a fundraiser for my cousin one time, and at the end of it, I know I had a night where everyone, my sister was like, "Thank fuck, we're not going to hear about you," you know. Like, but that's what you had to do to get out there.
That's it. You had
you
to
know.
get out there. Jesus, sure, I just had a wild bad habit. I didn't know how to get out. I was for cursing at the start, like everything was a fucking curse. Jesus, unreal.
Father Ted.
Aye, scandalous.
You see in
But,
Brussels what they're doing in Brussels with the tractors, the farmers.
aye.
They're just ramping through.
Oh well, that'll be a massive regret of mine. And I'll take it to the grave. That second protest we done down in Dublin, there was too many people in the committee that didn't want to do the French style way of going.
Aye, the French going mad.
Listen, something drastic would have to be happen to change this government's mind.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. Listen, I thought that the fighting Irish was there. Now I think it's a myth. I think it's either people's moved on or people's not willing to cross that line. I look at the French doing it thinking, oh God, even if we had 30, 40, 50, we need to do something drastic to make people listen. I still believe that. I know we closed O'Connell Bridge down in the M50. We had at 5:30 in the morning, me and Jimmy Donaghy and his crew started up at the M1. Noel Mooney and his crew started down at the other side, and we took M50 and we blocked the M50, both sides of it, the whole way. Well, it's slow moving, but we took 5 lanes. My brother, Liam White, Krusty Lynch, I can't mind, one of the flies. Heap of us blocked her and just took the whole shebang. I had a boy sitting up on Junction 9 taking a video of it, like, boys, that was nuts. Like, what was done.
As bad as it is.
It was as bad. Oh, I know it was as bad as it was. But I just wanted the people to know that when we were going down to do the protest in Dublin, that they would know what we were going down for. But I still think we're something missing. Like something would need to happen in Leinster House for people to listen. Like how Charlie McConville got no TDs can get a Minister House and they come up here and go around the houses.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But 100%, Paddy, isn't just about fixing your houses now. Like what other support does people need now? Like
because you've the 100% to fix your houses. You've got the mental health support. Royce and Geller always says about a hub's needed, a centralised hub. Yes, that's needed. Listen, we've had people like there's a Michael Carr that always wanted to help us in the background. It's been a massive help from Roscommon. Probably go mad if his name's mentioned in here, but the man's been a massive help. And he always says a rollout, a project management of anything is the key. Mm-hmm. And when you roll it out right, it's grand. Because at the minute, where we speak now, the Donegal County Council, Jesus, not to be sticking the knife into them, but it just keeps going wrong and wrong and wrong. Like the portal is a mess. People, there's Engineers Ireland turning down expert engineers. So somebody's been told that you need to appeal us in 30 days. There's not even a appeals process set up. So the poor person's stressed to the hilt thinking, I've got 30 days. If I must have 30 days, I'm off the scheme. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus. Yeah. That's shocking.
It's madness.
I'm telling you, she's no just want to do someday, boys. You see, if you just, I could take you down, tell Donegal, you just come down, introduce yourselves, Vinny and Marty, come down, and I'll take you to a couple of homeowners that just want to tell you their story, and they just want to get the awareness out there so other people realise that all they want is their houses fixed, and how this has affected their children is because as a government will try and portray us to the rest of Dubliners, them Donegal's ones with their McMansions up there. You'll hear
that's good, Vinny. You park.
Not bad, P.
Not bad.
Well, that's a fucking clinker idea. Actually, that's what we'll do. We'll go down and we'll document it because, like, as we said before, like, thank the Lord above, we're not affected by it, but we hear, and it's just, as we say, me and Marty, we do speak about it on the podcast. Sometimes people bring it up, and the word that comes to our mouth every time is disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Oh, it does.
It's so bad. Like, to look at, how can anybody look, as you said, to your own people, look at people like that?
No, I just look at myself, and I'm middle aged. I'm a bit into construction. There's a bit of life left.
You're on about the vulnerable person or the old age pensioner.
Well, we're all going to get older, so it's if it doesn't be fixed now, at our age now, if it keeps going the way it's going, in 6-7 years time, some of them still mightn't be fixed. So you're getting older all the time. You wouldn't most certainly worst enemy.
No,
You don't want it to patter out too.
No.
You don't want it just to fade away and everybody forget about it, because that's Ireland's good
if
for
you
doing that.
if you love your life and you're in the last, not to say they're nearly past it, but they're in the last rollouts of their life. Jeez, you think you want to be enjoying it?
But you're what?
Exactly.
As you said, your woman's garden, like.
Yeah, simple as that. Like.
That's it, no
You
woman,
know,
but
I don't know. It's just disgusting, and they think it's your own people. Like it's just like it's. Well, I don't know. It's just disgusting. I hate it. I hate even the thought about it. And I wouldn't even. I just want to put it clear. I just wouldn't like to think what you are going through. Like because
it goes just as Paddy says. It goes to show you, Paddy, you're not just out there speaking for yourself. You're speaking for everybody, and you always have been. But just to you to mention, you say you're middle aged, you have a bit more life. It's the people. You're worried about the older people, like what's affecting them, and as they said, they're retired and they're still worrying about this here, which is fucking terrible.
Well, they're not even categorised in the Donegal County Council at the moment. They're not even categorised. There's a woman there. She's 72 years of age, and bang, there's 932 people that's waiting now to get onto this here scheme, and she's stuck right in the middle. She's not even categorised.
so she should be at the top of the list. You think? I know you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like
Well, there needs to be a categorised list, and not happened. So she could be years away. And I wouldn't even mind. It was in August. She was granted demolition in August. Now we're into March, and she still hasn't got her figure of what she's entitled to, so she can't get a contractor to fix her house. So every day since that,
she's thinking.
She's wondering, am I getting this figure out next week? Am I getting the figure out next week? And she's been promised, it'll be coming out in a couple of months. Yeah, there's a problem with this portal now. Problems. The poor woman's just sinking.
Jesus, it's just horrible. Like, and it's just the thought of people, and we actually do say it. We're like, geez, we're so blessed, but do you think even what people's going through, like, and an old age pensioner like that, like, I'm not lying, I'm just thinking of my own nana. I'm like, it's fucking rotten.
Oh, sad reality is, hey, it's sad to see. It's a blessing in disguise. My mother's not here to witness us here. Like through the campaign, I'm convinced she's been helping in a lot of ways. Like,
she's been there with you.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want her to see this here because a lot of my family's affected. Like, and even it would have been a lot of her friends, and it would just been an everyday.
That's horrible. Even it's horrible. You even have to say that, or you know what? Like you shouldn't be saying that. Like fuck me, and nobody should be even thinking that. But as we say, I know you probably don't give yourself a lot of credit, Paddy, but what you've come through, like I know we I just can't say it enough that we don't know what you're going through, but what you've come through, fair fucking pity, like because there's a lot of people, and there is a lot of people that hasn't come through because I didn't know there were suicides, like, and I think that's peak. That's where how bad, how worse can it get?
I know.
And we're saying thank you for coming on here and explaining your story, but I'd say there's 1,000 people out there saying thank you for standing up for it. We appreciate that, Paddy.
7,000 houses in Donegal, effectively, Mica.
That's what the figures. That's they're guessing now. There's only 50 fixed. There's about 1,200 ready to go on the scheme, and there's another 5,000 plus that doesn't believe in the scheme. They haven't got on it. They don't know how to get on it. They don't know what the process is. There's no box ticking exercise. There's no. Every day is a fight. There's no point of contact. It's just there's one facility there. There's two facilities. There's one in Letterkenny, one in Annishone. The Donegal County Council offices opens on a Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 11:30. Like, what do I ask?
Like at 9 to 11:30, but it's just I don't know, fuck. But where do people stand today, Paddy? What?
Oh, I listen. Where do they stand today? I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Like the protests in Dublin, people can't be afford to go and run down to Dublin all the time when you know that the government's not listening anyways.
Yeah.
Like it was got the awareness out there, but where they're standing today, I don't know, boys. Is it the stage that I'm putting my hat on a new political party to get it right? I think that's the only option. Some people will tell me I'm off my head. They're no different than the rest. All the rest. Listen, maybe I am, but I can only tell you what I'm thinking. The other hand is where they're at today. I believe everybody should be signed up to the Coleman legal case because I do believe that the work that they've done and the knowledge they have and they know the wrongs that's been done, that I do believe that they're going to win that case. Yeah. I do believe it's going to be an Aaron Brockovich situation in Ireland all over again. I don't think a government can get out of this. It's like a lot of stuff happened in Donegal or like in the hospital and you sign a non-disclosure form. It doesn't get out that they were wrong, but when they're wrong, they're wrong. And they like between the government and the NSAI and the Donegal County Council under their watch, and Cassidy's themselves. Don't try and tell me there's not one of them wrong. Somebody has to be found
accountable for it. Yeah.
So that's two of the things I want to see.
That's it's fucking. I just want to touch, Paddy, before we go on the protest in Dublin, because that was just fucking unbelievable for yourself to pull off something like that. Was just absolutely mind blowing. Again, I'm not going to fucking keep sound like a broken record, but we're not affected. But we seen every day your videos, the radio interviews, everything online, everything. That was fucking mind blowing what you done, and you do seem like somebody that doesn't take a compliment often or take a bit of but I mean that as just like that's mind blowing what you done, and
you see it's not just me. Like,
I know it's not just you, but we heard you and we're not affected. And a lot of people heard you.
Well, I know what you're saying now, but it wouldn't just be me. It'd be at least Healer come in, making sure that the at least, and Caroline was on at that stage as well, getting making sure the Facebook was going right. And then you had Denise and Ashton Smith that was making sure that everything was going out onto the media. She was clipping all my things, putting them together. Without her, I wouldn't have got them out.
Yep.
You had Barry Kenny, he was kind of gave me there. Sometimes I wanted to stop up on Facebook and I'd read it up below the loop, and he was saying hard fire, and he was getting his brothers, family, and listen, Michael Doherty. There's plenty of things but I don't think Dublin could have happened if the people wouldn't have sent money for buses and signs and no. The only good thing about it is, listen, the people turned up, hey, and people's got a voice, and one of the proudest moments of Dublin was the amount of people who went down there that hadn't got Mica and Defective Blocks. They supported their neighbours.
That's something to say for too.
That was something to say for that, like
big massive team effort. That like, and that's. I was actually somebody was on the radio last day chatting about you, and he says that man runs on batteries.
We charged a couple of times.
But no, I think we'll finish it up with that there. Again, that's a fucking unbelievable episode, and again, he said we can't thank you enough for coming up. And
thanks very much, because I'm sure you're busy, and if you do hear beeping and messages, it wasn't me this time, it's Paddy. That's how busy he is. He's buzzing away over there like a thing. But no, Paddy, thanks very much for coming up. And we will get that idea you brought up. We will try to get that in
hopefully
action.
It does.
Definitely get
the videos out there so people can see the videos, and you wouldn't know where you get the support from. Like,
no, that's it.
Especially yourself too. You do a lot of videos online stuff, and we do normally say, like, people don't read ads anymore. People are watching ads. People are watching adverts. Like, I'm fucking desperate for it. Like, I wouldn't read something, but I would watch a video. Do you know what I mean?
It's moving on that way. Like.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do with us too. So if we can do something like that, beneficial in any way at all, we'll get that to work. P. We just want to say, Paddy, about the Escalating Hotel now on the 4th of March.
It's on the 4th of March now, and that's going to be for the people to have their input onto the people's document. And just on that, see overall the Green Hotel. The Green Hotel, boys, should never be underestimated, because see, any time they were ever asked,
all right, yeah,
could a venue be held, they made it work.
Yeah,
they never said no. They never had arranged to change the date. So the Green Hotel, through this whole campaign, like a lot of other shops and stuff, but the Green we're talking about now, so I just like to kind of thank them. And that will be, and I hope that people do turn up and believe that the fight's not over, because the people's at their what's end, but you can't just sit in the house and hope that it's not, because like, just imagine the Green Hotel that's half full. Is the government going to take a serious aim?
Yeah.
We have to keep the pressure on.
Keep the pressure on.
That's what I mean. And as you say, too, people's not even affected. Get out and support your neighbours.
Aye.
Because I know that's kind of what we wanted to get this on. We wanted to get this done. We want to do our bit to show it. And I really think that video will really be beneficial. So I can't wait to that. But as again, folks, we want to say a massive thanks to Paddy for coming up and have a chat. Good podcast.
Paddy Clothing.
Thanks to P behind the camera. Just sits there and does nothing. But thanks, P. To this week's sponsor, Bally, thanks very much. Gears Class. And we'll see you next week for a good one. Episode 43.